Hi everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings with you here, late tonight, going to sleep soon, but I don't know why I figured I'd bring you one more video tonight. This one is about if you're gonna do something. Oh yeah, I'm not a doctor, and I do not recommend you use any drugs. Don't use drugs, they're bad. This is purely educational, but if you're gonna use something like you think you need to get your test higher, or you're gonna take a little bit of steroids, or you're gonna do some sort of test booster, pro hormone, whatever it is going on in your mind. To be short and simple, your best option to go with would be an aromatase inhibitor, or even a SERM. I'm getting tired. So the reason behind that is, whereas if you take a little bit of a pro hormone or a steroid, it's going to shut down your testicles. Not working so good. If you take a little bit of an aromatase inhibitor or a SERM, it's going to actually make them work better. And who doesn't like their testicles to work really good? If you get lucky, they can even get a bit bigger. And if for some reason they were knocked off balance or underperforming where they should have been, for whatever reason, it's possible that after you take it, they may never go back down to where you were when you began. Because say you're supposed to be here, but who knows, something happened in your life, you got injured or you got sick, who knows, and for some reason they went down and they didn't fully go back up. So when you take that SERM or that aromatase inhibitor, maybe it gets them back up. But that's not guaranteed to happen. And in case you wonder, because I do film here, yes, that's my wrestling for my junior year. And up there is for my freshman year. Yes, I was looking ripped as a freshman. You can spot me with the big hair, biggest guy. And no, I was not taking aromatase inhibitors or SERMs. I had actually never even heard of them. If I had heard of them, to be honest, I probably would have tried them. Maybe not, I don't know for sure, but they would seem really cool to me, like get your testicles to work extra good. I was eating garlic to try to do that. Like, I ate so much garlic, and I would even chop it up and put it in a 5-hour energy container and bring that to school. But then my teachers were like, who had garlic? I'm trying to raise my testosterone. And they asked me kindly to not bring garlic, drink, powder, whatever to school. But also, I was eating so much garlic that it was coming out of all my pores, so I would sweat and I'd smell like garlic. But luckily for you, you don't have to do that. And it's not conclusive whether garlic raises luteinizing hormone and testosterone or not. It seems that it may only do it in stressful situations. But we don't know for sure because there's not a big interest for people to do good studies on this. But what we do know for sure is that aromatase inhibitors can raise your testosterone about 60%. And SERMs, I think, can raise your testosterone about like 250% even. Don't quote me on that though, look it up yourself. To be honest, you can just type in tamoxifen, Raise Testosterone, NCBI, and it's probably going to make it like the first Google result, where sometimes you type something on Google and it like gives you an answer at the top. Well, you can't always go just based on those answers. Like, you got to click on it and read and make sure that there's not like more to the picture, more to the story. And I don't have my computer here, else I'd do it for you, but I think it's like 250%, but it might be 150%. I don't pay a lot of attention because I'm not using SERMs myself, and either way, it's quite a lot. But personally, I would go with an aromatase inhibitor because with a SERM, you're raising your total estrogen. And although it does block it from binding, and it does act as they do tend to act as an agonist in your bones, who knows how they act in all the tissues, and you don't want really high estrogen for a lot of tissues because it can trigger cancer and it's not good. And too low of estrogen is also bad. It can cause brain problems, it can spitting out my gum. It can cause bone problems. It can cause erectile dysfunction even. But overall, I think cancer is worse than a little bit of brain damage or a little bit of bone problems. And you're probably not going to get serious brain damage. And brain damage makes it sound really scary, but yeah, it's optimally you don't take anything. That's the healthiest route. But like I said, you can take aromatase inhibitors and it will lower your estrogen and trigger your body to release more testosterone in order to raise that estrogen back up. So yeah, I wouldn't take them long term unless you happen to have really high estrogen, and when on aromatase inhibitors, you're still in the normal range. But remember, the normal range is not your normal range. That's the general average normal range. It's very possible that you need to be on the upper side of it or you need to be on the lower side of it. It depends on you. That's the tricky part. You gotta figure out for yourself and with your doctor's help if he can help you. I'm not saying he can. Um, hmm. So yeah, if you're just trying to dip your toes in the water and give yourself a little boost, maybe stay away from the steroids and the SARMs for now, and definitely stay away from the pro hormones because that stuff, it's junk. First of all, it's not FDA approved, so you don't know how pure it is, what other byproducts are in there doing other things in your body. And second of all, even if it was pure, pro hormones, it doesn't just go to that one thing that you want it to go to. Like, oh, this gets metabolized into one testosterone. So, well, it also can get metabolized into a few other things, and who knows, maybe those are progestins or progesteronic. Um, who knows what they do exactly, because that's the nature of a prohormone. It's an active chemical that can go through different metabolic routes. So yeah, stay away from that because who knows how it's going to mess with your body. Plus, you still need to do a post-cycle therapy if it's effective enough and you take it at a high enough dose for long enough. So it's like, why would you take a pro hormone instead of just straight up steroids? Because it's just going to give you more side effects, more unknowns, higher price, lower payoff. It doesn't make sense. Better to stick with the tried and true steroids that have been around for 60 years, optimally prescribed by your doctor. Actually, will never take anything that's not prescribed by your doctor. That's not something to do. But optimally, you take steroids that are prescribed by your doctor that have been around for 60 years, used medically, and all that good stuff. But, like I said, if you just want to get your toes wet, your first thing, you don't want to deal with post-cycle therapy, you don't want to... Who knows what the reason is, but you just want a little boost. Maybe your doctor could prescribe you some exemestane or some anastrozole. It's unlikely if you're a young guy like myself or even younger. And to be honest, I hope that very young kids, I'm not trying to call you a little kid, I'm not much older, but significantly older still. But I hope that you young guys like 16, 17, 18 are watching this because I wish that I had better information when I was your age. But yeah, maybe you can get your doctor to give you some of that. That way it's pure US or wherever you're from, pharmaceutical grade, and it's legal. And yeah, it will temporarily raise your testosterone. And if anyone tells you, oh, it's not going to do anything, a 50% increase. If your testosterone was 500, you just went up to 750. If your testosterone was 600, you just went up to 900. If your testosterone was 900, you just went above like the normal range. Or to the high of the normal range for a young person. I mean, who wouldn't want to go from like mid-range to high range? It's gonna make a difference and it's gonna help you out. Combine that with creatine and you're probably doing pretty good. I mean, just creatine alone, I felt like I look like I'm on steroids. I knew I didn't truly look like I was on steroids when I first started using creatine, but it was still like, whoa, can't believe how effective it is. So yeah, probably go with creatine first even. It's the safest. I still wouldn't use it long term, and your body does still produce its own creatine. And while adding it in actually takes a load off your body and it allows your body to make more enzymes to process other things, and actually it's healthy, it seems. I still wouldn't take it long term because you're suppressing your natural production of it. That's never a good thing. Also, yeah, it's been studied long term, so it probably won't run into any big problems, but still, just don't ever take anything too long. Make sure you cycle off it, or just only go on it once in a while, because you can't be going 110% all the time. Choose like 2 or 3 months out of the year that you're gonna go balls to the walls and really push it to the limit, because you're gonna burn out if you try going longer than that, or you're gonna lose your motivation, or you're gonna get injured. Something's gonna happen. You just can't keep that up forever. Personally, I like to do that in like April, May, and June. That way you're looking extra good for the summer. I always gain a little bit of weight in the winter because it's you got all your clothes on, no one's seeing. Relax, enjoy food more, and gain a little extra muscle, maybe, hopefully, have a little extra strength in the gym. So, yeah, to wrap things up, if you're just looking to raise your testosterone and you're maybe thinking about steroids but you're not sure, give an aromatase inhibitor or a serum a try if it's legal and doctor prescribed. Because it will raise your testosterone, and if it's an aromatase inhibitor, it'll keep your estrogen down a little bit. And if it's a SERM, it will raise your estrogen. But actually, that can be beneficial too, because estrogen is important for muscle building, believe it or not. The aromatase inhibitor is going to make you look better than the SERM. It's going to dry you out, make your muscles more defined, especially if you have low body fat. I mean, you'll be looking sharp. The SERM is going to make you look more puffy and big, so if you're just looking for pure size, a SERM could serve you better. I actually have never really asked people to compare strength-wise on SERMs versus aromatase inhibitors, but I guess I should and report back to you. And obviously I can't say for myself because I haven't taken them and compared them. Both of them you should taper off of. An aromatase inhibitor you don't really need to, but still, because you're like naturally tapering off when you stop it, because it takes time for your body to build back its aromatase enzymes. But it's always good to make smooth transitions for the body rather than, like I said, aromatase inhibitors, it takes time for your body to build those enzymes back up. SERMs, they are actually, tamoxifen is really long acting, so maybe you don't need to really taper off it, but I still would. If I recall right, tamoxifen's half-life is like insanely long, like you wouldn't expect it just at first glance. I mean, I don't have the structure of tamoxifen in my head, and I don't know which enzymes metabolize it. I mean, if I did and I had the structure in my head, probably would make sense. But I mean, you don't typically expect something to have a half-life of like 10 to 15 days or whatever it is. So there's a good chance you could not taper off it and be a-okay. Still, it's always best to taper on, taper off. taper on so you don't shock your body into reacting too fast. So like if you're gonna use some steroids and you just pop 50 milligrams of D-ball on your first day, your body's like, better turn that testosterone off right now. And it screeches to a halt. And it's just not the best thing for you. Plus, it's good to keep your natural testosterone going good as long as you can. But if you were to slowly increase the dianabol, yes, you wouldn't be getting as much benefit from it at first, but you'd be getting more than you think, because instead of just having dianabol in your system, let's say this is the dianabol, instead of just having this dianabol in your system, you have your testosterone, which is already up to here, plus that dianabol, so you're actually up here, not just here. And it's good to keep your testicles running as long as possible. But in order to stay on topic for this video, I'm gonna wrap it back up by best thing if you're trying to get your toes wet, just go with an aromatase inhibitor or a SERM to raise your testosterone. Do not go with a pro-hormone. Do not go with androstenedione or any of those type things, because it's going to go into a bunch of different things and mess with your body, shut down your natural production to a degree at least. Just don't mess with them. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like this information. I hope you like being able to follow the rationale and the logic of everything. I also hope that you hire me as your coach or to make a plan for you. Not that you need to. I mean, I probably wouldn't because I like saving money, but actually, in your situation, you could probably save more money by hiring me, so then I would. Yeah, because most people are spending way more money than they need to. They're getting a whole bunch of supplements that don't work. I just told you a lot of good free information, but there's still a lot of information I know that I don't say in videos. And even if I said everything in videos, it would be hard for you to watch every single... I mean, you could watch every single video and make some really good decisions, but it's still beneficial to hire me to... I know it's how I am, like I know a lot of stuff, but sometimes I just want to be able to bounce a question off another really good doctor or another really good chemist. And it's very helpful to be able to, or else you just have that nagging, like, I'm pretty sure, but just would really like if somebody else who knows a lot about this stuff could confirm that I'm right. And I can help you get your training on track, your diet on track, everything. You don't have to stop eating any of the foods, believe it or not. And people probably argue, oh, it's impossible. It's actually not. There's some tricks, so to speak. I won't reveal them because I gotta keep some secrets to get you to hire me. But there's a lot of different ways you can manipulate things to get better results. Cover your mouth when you yawn because it's polite. No one wants to see your mouth wide open. Or you could pull off one of these funny things I see some of the Chinese students at my university doing. They go... I think it's hilarious. It reminds me of when I was a little kid and pretending to be an Indian and going like... But yeah, check out my Instagram, nat_true_fit. And shoot me any questions, hire me as a coach, save money, because I can almost... If you are living in the US and you are an avid gym goer, I mean, it's not all of you, but a lot of you are wasting a lot of money. And the reason I say US is because people in the US tend to have more money to waste. Someone in India isn't going to be buying, I mean, not as often as someone in the US, buying a whole bunch of supplements and protein powder and all sorts of things, because they don't have as much money to waste. So don't waste your money. Spend a little bit of money on me, then put the rest in gold or stocks or whatever, or enjoy life with it. But stop wasting your money on a zillion things. It's like even my multivitamin that I take. It says to take 3 a day, and that's just like way overkill. Why should you pay so much money and like $30 a month? You shouldn't. You don't need 3 a day. You don't even need 1 a day, to be completely truthful. I mean, 1 every few days is probably plenty. I take 1 a day because I'd rather have a little extra in me. I ran out the other day, so haven't refilled it yet because I know I don't need it every day. So if you like wait a few days after you run out each time, those days add up and you end up saving money. Maybe you buy 1 less bottle a year, that's $30 in that year you save. If you're 17, that's a lot of money. This video is getting long, but it's all good advice I'm giving you, so enjoy it. I think I've said everything about the aromatase inhibitors and serums enough, but just because every more time I say it, it gets in your brain a little bit more. Aromatase inhibitors lower estrogen, raise testosterone. Very tried and true. They work. They raise your testosterone about 60%. Believe it or not, if you take more than the optimal amount, it raises your testosterone a little bit less. If you take less than the optimal amount, it raises your testosterone a little bit less. You want to take the optimal amount. Look into what that is. Serums raise your testosterone quite a bit more, like 250%, I think. But double check on that for me. But the thing is, they also raise your estrogen, so you're going to look puffier, you're going to be bigger. The aromatase inhibitor, you're going to be ripped and shredded. So I hope you like that. Check out my Instagram, like and subscribe. I've said this stuff enough. Have a good night.